Hello everybody, this is Thannus here, and today we are back in Metroid Prime. In the last episode, we were in the frigate Orpheon responding to a distress beacon, only to find that the place was kind of overrun with parasites, and it went into a horrible self-destruct sequence that ended up getting us out of basically all of our equipment. So we are back to square one at the moment, pretty much. Right now, we can't pretty much do anything other than jump, run, and shoot. Can't even turn into a morph ball right now. We can still scan stuff, but that's fine. So, we're kind of screwed, if you would. So right now, what we are going to do is we're going to explore a little bit. We do have a scan visor still, so we can look at stuff that seems a little bit out of sorts. Nothing of particular interest around here, except the trees up there. That's new for us. Let's see. Get a better look at them on top of the ship here. I did not mean to do that. No, I don't want to save right now. So yeah, if we switch to our scanner, we can scan the trees there. Thankfully, if we fall, the scan still sticks. Morphology, glowing spider vine. The plant's bioluminescence attracts insects for it to eat. Interesting stuff. Alright, if we move over this way, we can scan our ship again. Already have that scan registered, actually. Let's see what else we got. That's a new one up there. Red starburst. Edible flowers bloom seasonally. Considered a delicacy in many territories. I like how fleshed out they make these games. It's great. You won't see the stuff like this in a lot of other Nintendo games. This lichen seems to be giving off low levels of radiation. No match is found in Flora and Fauna Databank. I think you pronounce it lichen. Talon fern, non-toxic variety of talonensis, commonly found near water sources. Good to know. Anything below the water? No, we can't scan those fish, unfortunately. Let's see. Just doing a bit of entry area exploration. There's honestly not too much we can do right now. There's a small tunnel burrowed into this wall. I can see that. Missile expansion increases the number of missiles you can carry by 5. And then this stuff here is a new creature's entry. It's Tangleweed, plant life with basic sentience, retracts into the ground if threatened. So, you can see here, there is a missile expansion there, but we cannot get it at all. We are completely locked out of doing anything, pretty much. So it's going to be a sec before we can get that missile expansion. And with that, I think it's time for us to move on to another room. Can't get up there yet, so we can either go into that room there, or we can go into the little tunnel here that I found. I think we'll start with here. Alright, new room here, which means new stuff to scan. This here is a blast cap. Volatile chemicals within this weed's toxic fungal cap may explode if agitated. The poisonous flesh of the blast cap helps keep it from being eaten. It also detonates its fungal cap when it senses even slight contact. So, avoid those things. I'll show you what happens if you shoot a blast cap. Nothing fun. They quite literally explode. Got another small energy here we can take. Could not recall if I had... Oh, we don't even have our charge beam anymore. I forgot about that. I've played this game 3 times all the way through now, and I've still forgotten that it takes away your blast cap. Or not blast cap, it takes away your charge beam. Shows you how much I pay attention when I play video games. Alright, anything else for us to scan around here? Does not appear to be the case. Ah, rock formation. This rock formation blocks most of the tunnel, but there is a small opening near the floor. Alright. Which means we cannot make it under there yet. Okay. I thought this was the way to go. Again, I've played this game all the way through 3 times now, and I somehow did not remember that. I'm great. excellent. Absolutely amazing. Alright, well, that leaves one more place that we can go. And go to it we shall. This door here. New cave and new enemies. These, oh, thank you for that. These guys are beetles. Simple name, I know. Burrowing insect with a resilient carapace. Extremely aggressive. I did not read the rest of that. Maybe I'll get to it later. All logbook entries that you scan, if they actually get added to the logbook, that is, you will be able to read them after scanning them at any time. Saturnine, small and iridescent mushroom. Typically grows in dank, dark regions. It's dank, dude. Alright. Not much left in this cave. Guide stem, pervasive indigenous species of bioluminescent weed. Righteous. Alright, and now that we're in this room, this one's a little bit bigger than the other ones. Let's see. This here is another creature's entry. It's the sap sac. Chemical reaction within sac produces violent explosion when agitated. Because of its irresistible odor and sweet nectar, the sap sac was nearly eaten out of existence. The evolution of explosive chemical sacs saved it. Now only brave or ingenious creatures dare to devour it. Another example, you can just shoot it and it will explode. And it dropped us a slightly bigger energy. This is the only Prime game where energy units are stored as part of the logbook, or at least stored individually as different entries. I believe in one of the other two Prime games as of the time of this recording. Prime 4 is coming out this year. I don't know when, though. I believe in one of the other two, they're in the logbook, but not separately, so it's just energy. It's not large, small, blah, 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 blah. Anyways, this is a zoomer. This is an enemy that returns from the 2D Metroid games. It anchors itself to walls and other surfaces. Avoid contact with spikes. A basic nerve center located directly above the zoomer's mandibles detects nutrients. Sharp spines protect it from casual predators, but the lack of reinforced carapace makes the zoomer vulnerable to any indirect attacks. In other words, don't touch. This here is a Geemer, also from the 2D Metroid games and very similar to Zoomers, wall-crawling mollusk with retractable spikes. The Geemer is an evolutionary offshoot of the Zoomer family. When threatened, it extends lethal spikes and retracts its head deep into its armored carapace. In other words, we can't kill Geemers right now. These large branches have been forcibly intertwined, forming what looks to be a bridge structure. And then over here, got more beetles there. The stone surface as lichen grows on appears too smooth to be natural. Let's get rid of these beetles. In other words, this was carved. Obviously, there's bricks in it. It's not important yet, though. Tree appears to be healthy. Ring dating approximates age at over 200 years. Very nice. Before we go through that door, we're going to investigate a little bit more. Got more blast caps in this water here. And not really anything else of note. If we jump up here, we can get that zoomer out of the way. Thankfully, zoomers do not do very much damage to us at all. I am playing, I think I might have mentioned this in the first episode already, but I am playing using the modern control style, which is the twin stick method without having to hold down ZL or anything of that sort. No motion controls, no gyro, anything like that. It is my preferred way to play this game, and it feels the nicest to me. If you're playing on GameCube, you cannot aim up or down without holding down the control stick, or holding down ZL, sorry. And if you're playing on the Wii version, you will have motion controls, specifically pointer controls. Pointer controls of the two are my preferred playstyle, but now that the Switch version also has standard like FPS controls, that is my preferred version of the control scheme. We can continue this way. And another zoomer we can get rid of. And another door we can enter here. In here we have this thing. It is a blood flower, able to eject toxic spores. Toxins are poisonous even to the blood flower itself. 3 mouth nodules protrude from the stalk beneath the flower, each with a rudimentary brain cluster. and the ability to spew toxic fumes at anything within a 5-meter radius. The spores ejected from the stigma at the center of the flower are sufficient to kill this creature if they explode in its vicinity. In other words, if we launch that back at it, it dies instantly. So now if we continue through this way, there's nothing in the water. We jump out. A little bit difficult to jump out right now thanks to our lack of anything, but we can walk across. And we have a door here. This is a blast shield on the door that keeps us from going in. It's invulnerable to normal weapons, but if we get an explosive weapon, we can get through it. We don't have explosive weapons right now, so we'll have to come back here later. Those tangleweeds, they do... Okay, no, these ones don't do damage to you. There is a variant that does later, but those ones are fine. So that you can walk through them, however, they will slow you down moderately. Alright, with that, we can move on to the next room already. That is going to be right through here. Got another Geemer, or Zoomer, sorry. Nothing else to scan in this room. Anyway, nothing is brand new. And then this is an elevator. Basically, this will take us to a new area. Pretty nice. Let's go ahead and scan the control pad. Access to Chozo Ruins West granted. Please step into the hologram. And then just scan this. It just tells us that the transport is active, and we can go down. Up. Sorry. Alright, here we are. If we scan this again, it doesn't do anything because the elevator is already active, but it counts as a new scan because the room has been loaded for the first time. I like to grab it just because I'm kind of OCD in that regard. I feel like if I don't scan it, something's going to go wrong. But there is absolutely no reason to rescan those. Anyways, moving on.
Data received.
We have incoming scan data. Abnormal seismic activity detected. Seismic disturbance at ruined site. If we open the map, it'll show us there is something that we have to look for in the Chozo ruins. So we'll have to do that soon. Anyways, this area is the start of the Chozo ruins. Nice and outdoorsy. Got a few beetles here to deal with. After we get rid of them, we can scan some of the pillars here. These pillars have collapsed from erosion. Carbon dating cannot determine the age of the structures. Pretty much the same deal with all 4 of them. Nothing else of note in this room except up there. A new Chozo lore entry has been downloaded to your logbook. Chozo script translated. The history of the Chozo stretches back into ancient times, so far into the fog of the past that we know not where our ancestors came from. One thing is clear, however. The Chozo who colonized Talon 4 made a conscious choice to eschew a civilization of advanced technology. We Chozo chose to live in harmony with nature, guided by the providence of the universe. We believe we will spend peaceful days here and plan to leave our words from time to time. Interesting. We'll have to keep an eye out for those logbook entries, I think. And here we are. The starting room of the Chozo ruins. Probably the most iconic area in the entire Prime series. Definitely in part to its music, which we'll hear in a bit here. There's a missile entry or missile expansion up there, which we cannot reach just yet. And if we scan this tree, it seems to be weakened to cellular decomposition, but likewise, we can't reach it just yet. Or do anything to it, for that matter. Going through here, we have another little squad of beetles that we'll have to take down. Very easy enemies, though. We scan that over there. Passageway to shrine, it tells us. However, there is a door blocking it. Another missile expansion there we can't yet reach. So just keep that in mind. Another ramp of sorts. Interesting. Then if we head up here, we have a few places we can go through, but not much we can actually do just yet. If we walk over here, we can see a gap up there with an energy tank. We can't reach it just yet, though. as with pretty much every other item in this room. There's also a door behind it that is gray, which means it cannot be opened from the side we are on right now. Not that we could reach it anyway. These large branches have been forcibly intertwined, forming what looks to be a bridge structure. Interesting. They manipulated the environment in order to create their home, more or less. If we jump up here, there's not really anything of note over here. Kind of just a shortcut for the future. Nothing else of note over here. There's a door down there we can get to. These stones appear to have been falling from the walkway above. We can't go anywhere from up here yet, but there is still something else we can check out in this room itself. Aside from this emblem, it's actually can't speak. It resembles a bird-like creature. Interesting. That over there is also something we can't interact with, a grapple point. We saw those in Frigate Orpheon, but we no longer have a grapple beam. This is a war wasp hive. Primary war wasp dwelling, only vulnerable to heavy weaponry. War wasps build their homes over existing crevices using whatever materials they are close at hand. They carry building fragments back to the construction site with their forelegs and glue them to the place with adhesive secreted. If we approach it, nothing happens yet, but we can hear a faint buzzing sound. Through this door is this tunnel here, with a ton of these little things inside. These are scarabs. They're exploding parasites that can embed their bodies in solid rock. Scarabs think nothing of sacrificing themselves for the safety of their swarm. When a hostile life form is sighted, they block its progress by embedding themselves in floors and walls. Embedded scarabs violently self-destruct when threatened. Case in point, they are a great way to farm energy and refills in this game. So if you ever find a room with scarabs and you're running low on stuff, keep that in mind. Now there's a gap here we cannot fit through. These branches block most of the tunnel, but there's a small opening near the floor. No shoot, Sherlock. So, moving back through. There's only one door we can actually get through now, and it is down this way. So let's go. We have even more scarabs now. You can lock on to individual scarabs, not that there's much of a reason to, because blasts do a little bit of AoE against them. Now, if we move through here, these are another new enemy here. These things are ions, immobile organisms entirely composed of ocular tissue. Capable of launching sustained energy beams when active, the ion is sensitive to light and will close shut if a bright flash ignites nearby. Great to know, because we can do this. You cannot lock onto ions, however. They are, despite being considered a creature by the logbook, more of an environmental hazard. So they don't really count as enemies in the traditional sense. Moving on, though. We now have this room here. Once again, you can kind of hear that there's an item in here, but we are incapable of accessing it. At least with our current loadout. And you can see it up there. It's a missile tank. However, these blocks here are what are preventing us from getting it. Sandstone. So we'll have to remember that for the future. Unusually high concentrations of poison identified in tree leaves. And then this is an ornate wall hanging with a highly reflective surface. It does not appear important. Good to know. And we have yet another Chozo lore entry. Chozo script translated. Many long years have passed since we Chozo first took root in this land. The passage of time has always been a source of fascination to us. It is the belief of many Chozo sages that the truths of the universe hide within the tumbling currents of time's flow. Even as we search for answers there, however, we find illumination in other unexpected places. We know not how the ability has come to us, but recently many Chozo have begun to sense things beyond the realm of ordinary perception. Strange sights and inexplicable sensations flood our minds, filling us with visions. We take this growing ability to be a sign of our burgeoning harmonization with the infinite. Perhaps, finally, the universe's secrets are becoming known to us. This game did a lot of interesting legwork for the Chozo. It and Zero Mission, which was the remake of the first Metroid game, which I've played previously on this channel. You should check that out. So it's really fascinating to read about how the Chozo have kind of impacted a lot of this world or universe, so to speak. These guys are war wasps. A new creature's entry has been added. Airborne insects equipped with a venomous stinger capable of shearing steel. The war wasp rarely strays far from its hive unless it is pursuing an immediate threat. It attacks with no regard for its own survival, dive-bombing its enemy with stinger extended. Fast-working toxins from the stinger can incapacitate most small organisms. War wasps are very annoying, and they are in every single Metroid game. We cannot do anything to destroy their hive for now. So we are just going to move on. There's another room over here we can take a look at, and it is a save room. New research entry has been added. Save station. Step into these stations to save your game and fully restore your energy. Wow, I can't believe saving your game is canon to Metroid. Nothing else to scan in this room, but we are going to save real quick. Why not? Very good. Alright. And even though there's a hive there, the war wasps are not respawning. I believe it's something like every two loads, enemies will not respawn in a room. So if I was to move 2 rooms away and then come back in here, then they would respawn. I believe that's how it works anyway. We have more scarabs in here, as well as a few things we can scan. Chozo sculpture crafted in honor of Talon Star. The only translatable symbol detected on this sculpture is the word Chozo. This petrified organic matter looks like a rock carved into the shape of an eye. Nope, that's an ion that probably became fossilized as far as I'm aware. And then this one here, the only translatable symbol, also Chozo. I don't know why that counted as a separate scan. Anyways, that's all that's of note in here as well. So if we just blast our way through these scarabs, we will be fine. They do a very, very small amount of damage. Nothing of concern. That being said, they also drop enough energy that it doesn't really matter too much. Nothing else of note in here too much. Analysis indicates significant amounts of water once present in this location. Let's kind of become dry. We've got another war wasp hive to take care of, so we'll get rid of them real quick. And then these pipes are part of an irrigation system. The source of water is unknown, but all liquid in this area is toxic. Great to know. Don't get in the water. A small tunnel leads back behind the wall. Width of the opening is approximately 1 meter in diameter. Okay, we'll have to keep that in mind for the future here. Toxicity levels of this water are very high. Contact with a contaminated liquid, extremely hazardous. I hear a war wasp, but I did not see it. Interesting. There's another blast door on that one. Like it said, we get hurt if we jump in the liquid, so don't. Stress points present in Brimstone Wall. A concussive blast may shatter it. Keep that in mind for the future as well. So if we head back up now, we can make it across to this door. There's nothing else of note in this room. We have another new enemy here, enemy putting it loosely. It is a plasmite, a small insect capable of storing and releasing thermal energy. Plasmites are attracted to sources of heat, thriving on energy present there. They emit light when hunting and will expel small bursts of thermal energy when threatened. I don't think I've ever actually gotten hurt by a plasmite in this game once. However, if you destroy them all, it does make things a little bit darker. If you're playing the GameCube version of the game, it is to the point where you can't really see anything. Obviously, it is nowhere near that dark in the Switch. Well, I'm on the Switch 2, but this is the Switch version of the game. There is no Switch 2 native version. Yeah, it's not quite as dark in this version of the game. Moving on to here. We have another room here with a very interesting design and a missile tank that looks like it's just sitting there. Mechanical device appears to be inactive. Life forms detected within hollows of machine. It appears this item can only be reached by using the elevated bridge. This elevated bridge looks worn but functional. And then last but not least, let's walk around over here. Drainage possesses traces of high-level toxins. Alright, interesting stuff. I guess we have to move on now. Let's go grab that missile expansion. Psych. This is the first real boss of the game, the Hive Totem, or Hive Mecha. Some things call it the Hive Totem, but apparently it's Hive Mecha. Security unit program to work with predatory Hive Dweller. Oh wait, no, the Hive Totem's a separate boss entirely. I'm a little bit stupid. A design flaw makes the shielding in the Hive Mecha weak around these access ports. These units are second-generation combat drones able to interface with organic units at higher level. They train, shelter, and work with hive-dwelling predators. Unarmed, they rely on their hive beasts to handle any threats. And then we've scanned these war wasps here, or if I... Yeah, there we go. These are a different kind of war wasp. They are ram war wasps. Airborne predators circles its prey, then strikes. The war wasps are the only species on Talon 4 to evolve a true hive mind. Nesting in damp, dark places, ram war wasps emerge in small groups when threatened and circle their enemy at high speeds, disorienting it. Striking from all sides as a single intelligence, they can fell huge organisms. I believe the ram war wasps can only be scanned in this boss fight, so if you do not scan them here, I don't believe you ever can again. But all we have to do now is kill the war wasps. And your best chance to do so is when they are frozen like that. And then you can shoot the Hive Totem in the mouth. Now, other scan is just something saying what might be causing the war wasps to act up, more or less. You can also damage the war wasps a little bit while they're going in circles like that. There's not really a solid way to time it, just blast rapidly. Like I mentioned before, shooting them when they're standing still is your best bet, however. If you can be quick enough. Alright. The Hive Mecha also does not have a health bar, so you're kind of just left shooting it until you're done. Ah, I almost jumped into the water there. I think I killed another war wasp on complete accident. Alright, I think I have like one more war wasp left to kill. Yes! Don't need to scan that again. And we have... Nope, we're done. I thought we had one more round to go. Suppose not. Alright, and with that done, we can now grab the missile launcher. Our first upgrade in the game. Missile launcher acquired. We can press R to fire, press ZRA to switch back to beams. Missiles can destroy blast shields on doors. Additional data downloaded to inventory screen. Press minus to access the inventory screen. Alright, and we got new extras in the main menu. Don't need to go over that right now. So, like it said, if we press R, we'll launch a missile. And that gives us access to our second new item, an energy tank. It permanently increases our maximum energy capacity by 100 units. This next thing we can't get into just yet. That's a small tunnel that leads back behind the wall. We cannot fit through there yet because we lost our morph ball. But we can upgrade our health. So, now we can move back to where we came from. And there's a few things we can grab now. That rock just fell from the ceiling, which gives us a nice path back across. And now that we can go back, there's a few items we can grab that we could not grab before. So we'll do that now. In this room, let's get rid of these war wasps first off. They're a little bit of a nuisance, and if we aim at the war wasp hive and send a missile, it blows up. And we can also pick up these now. These are missile ammunition. We scanned these in the frigate Orpheon already. Now, if we go down here, there's two things to check out. The first, we can blast this wall open with a missile and get another missile expansion. This increases our maximum by 5, which means we can now shoot up to 10 missiles. And then we can blast that door open, and that gives us open to this room. This is a map station. We also encountered one of these in Frigate Orpheon. We walk in here, we'll get the map to the Chozo Ruins. Which means now we can see a bunch of rooms that we have yet to even enter. Very useful indeed. Nothing else we can grab from here just yet because we don't have the morph ball yet. So we'll keep heading back now. Still nothing new in this room. In here, however, there's a few things we can grab now. Or sorry, maybe just one. Or maybe none. Hold on. We'll save real quick. Yeah, no, we can't actually do anything in here yet because it is reliant on us being able to get through there. We can destroy these... No, never mind. We can't destroy those blocks now. Never mind. I'm a little bit dumb. Well, I was wrong. Missiles can, however, also stop ions. I thought they destroyed them. My bad. Ions don't do that much damage to you, so you can kind of just walk through that room without carrying too much. Get rid of some of these scarabs here. They will let us refill our energy and missiles a little bit. Brilliant. And now we are back in this room. Get rid of some more beetles. Still can't get in too many other places. We can destroy that war wasp hive totem now, but there's not really much of a reason to because we can't do anything up there yet still. And if we head back this way, got a few more beetles to deal with. Ah. Little shits. And then we can go through here now. As with many of these circular tunnels, there's a lot of scarabs in here, so refill energy and missiles as needed. It's plentiful. More scarabs on the other end of the tunnel. I kind of just walked through them, but I probably shouldn't have done that because they do a lot of damage in groups. But it's fine, we have 2 energy tanks now. Nothing else of note in this room, however. So we have yet another new room here. That is a magnetic rail system track. It requires spider ball technology. Ooh. Something for the future, perhaps. Nothing else of too much interest. Another ramp. Stonework and sample region has been refined to atypical smoothness. These blue orbs need to be simple light sources. Thank you much. Multiple microscopic fractures found throughout sandstone wall section. Alright. There's a purple door up there. Interesting. Can't do anything with that. And there is our morph ball. Hey, what gives? That gives. Beetles. Let's take these guys out. You are keeping me from the most important upgrade. I need the morph ball. A lot of beetles will spawn. Like Ringo. Peace and love. And once we kill all the beetles, we get the mother of all beetles. Literally, it's the mom. It's the mom. This is not a boss. This is a normal enemy disguised as a boss. We can shoot its back abdomen to damage it. easiest to do when it is rampaging at us. Missiles take a little bit longer, so I honestly would not recommend going at this thing with missiles because they take too long to send. And its front is also immune. You can still send missiles at it if you time it right. It's just kind of a pain. I think I forgot to scan it, but that's fine. They show up again later. All right, let's grab our morph ball. Very nice. If we press Y, we can go into it, as we did in the frigate Orpheon. This is not a new mechanic to us, just new in this part of the game. And this is where the music really starts to pick up. We can't do bombs anymore, so we'll have to wait on that. But we can get back through by going through this hole here. And now the morph ball is ours. And this will get us access to a few more areas now. Very nice indeed. Including, for example, that War Wasp section up there. But for now, I think we will put a pin in it there. So, oh, hold on. Never mind, you need a different upgrade for that, I forgot. Alright, so in the next episode, we will be continuing on through, now with Morph Ball, and see what we can find. I'll see you guys then. Bye-bye.